Hi, this is breaking news, and this is investigator news. Yes, it is breaking news. In the midst of live exercises, China has now surrounded Taiwan. So I wanted to bring you what I have been able to find out. We did know that tensions are high, and they will be for the next hours and the next few days, and will determine which wave is going to happen. We know Nancy Pelosi was there, and she was there for less than 24 hours. Now, Jinping made a lot of threats, and now the world is facing the consequences of the Chinese army and military that has encircled Taiwan at this moment. Flights have been disrupted in Taiwan, and it's bracing for impact. And the big question is, does Jinping have the appetite for a full-fledged war? What are his options? What is his compulsions? What is his moves that his army is making? And where does this leave the United States? Are we waiting for? I guess we're now waiting for Biden to respond to this. This has happened within the last hour, folks. I got a message from my sources, my reporters that are on the ground, and they said that they are very alarmed. China has surrounded Taiwan. Um, at the end of the day, a clash of egos with 23 million lives are caught in the crossfire right now. Um, so Nancy Pelosi's visit over left the world on edge, and China is furious about this. Now, we knew China would be mad. We knew Nancy Pelosi had to make a stand. Uh, it is responding with force, and the PLA has launched what it calls a targeted military operations, and the Chinese military has encircled Taiwan, and the situation is serious. Even one misstep could start a war. Is China prepared to take it that far, though? How is Taiwan responding? They said they are having word of clashes. Um, Between them and China. And at this point, the Taiwan showdown, it basically, me and William will probably address this tonight. Um, in the last 24 hours, the U.S. House Speaker did land over there. And Taiwanese officials and top officials did meet her at the airport. And so now, the question is where did Pelosi go in Taiwan with her visit? Was it was a short one, and she did not spend a full day there. And Nancy Pelosi was in Taiwan's capital, Taipei, where she held very high level engagement and secret meetings. Uh, and all key decision makers and stakeholders in Taiwan, she met with the Taiwanese lawmakers also. She did visit the Parliament of Taiwan. There, she met Taiwan's president, Tsai Ing-wen. And what did Pelosi tell her? All we know is she said America's support for Taiwan is basically backing her up. Um, an ironclad in response, but was it? Um, they did thank Pelosi for making the trip, and now the world faces a choice between democracy and war. And America's determination to preserve democracy here in Taiwan around the world. And it remains uh, ironclad. Taiwan is not going to back down from China. So there are the experts that are in Taiwan right now. They're calling this a danger zone. And because the Chinese military has launched operations into these zones, um, and if you look at a map, they have totally encircled the country. Um, there are they say they're everywhere. Three danger zones in Okay, let me read what this is from my reporter, the report. Um, there is a danger zone in the north, one in the east, and then towards the west, and one in the south, that they have launched these operations. In fact, China launched these operations last night, and they started pushing their military closer to Taiwan. Um, three parts is an exercise, and this is what they're claiming. And the PLA has activated its naval and aerial assets, and they will be conducting drills around Taiwan. Uh, it is a shooting drill that they're conducting, and they will get very, very close to certain targets that they plan to hit if they were to go to war. Um, China's military response is split into a couple parts. It's activated its naval uh, aerial that we know of and their navy. And what this means, folks, is they're prepared for war. And this is what China's prime minister, that usually lets everybody know what's going on. Well, he hasn't spoken yet, but they say that he was saying yesterday that to reporters that these drills show them how serious, and they do bomb very close to naval ships, naval yards. Uh, they will shoot very close over the top of Taiwan with missiles. They will do lower, they said almost cloud or buildings, the top of buildings that low, they'll be doing their sorties. And Chinese military has brought out its guns and it's firing bullets into Taiwan Strait. And their operation is missile launches, perhaps the most dangerous. Um, and also, like I said, they're flying over the islands. And effectively, China is surrounding Taiwan. So that, according to the reporters, this at some points looks like they're striking. They said this is very serious and they're very scared. And they're going to stick it out. That's what they went to Taiwan for. And I thank them very much for being over there and giving us a report. They said that the communist China's is very reckless in their behavior, and they get very very close. And it wouldn't surprise them if something got hit today with the live fire drills in the waters, and the skies um, getting so close to buildings, and it's which is are in neighboring waters of Taiwan, and now they're threatening international aviation routes. So Taiwan cannot take off or land, or nothing's going to be in the air without being hit. And so the status in Taiwan Strait, they have pretty much blocked it. I believe 2 days ago is when I reported on that. And China is indeed acting recklessly. We know, and they are. Um, the military is involving Chinese ground forces. They do have a port off the north, I believe it's the north end of Taiwan, and they have a base there. And see, I was worried about this, that they would put boots on the ground up north. I believe I said this yesterday. And so that's what I'm thinking is they're moving troops into their part of Taiwan that they're allowed. I'm not sure what their policies of military and the agreement between the two is, but they do have access. So I believe this is what they're doing, and they might even launch missiles from that area. Um, we all know that China is rapidly made it clear to what their position is, and it did oppose Pelosi's visit, and it did warn us about this. So now we're looking at um, uh, what does China intend on carrying on with this mission? And that's why it says it's dangerous within the next few hours, 2 days, if they just continue to do this drill and maybe hit something, or if they're just going to do the drills and then back off and go back to where they were. Um, at this point, I don't know what Jinping is actions is going to be. Now, it is no contest that China has way more of everything: tanks, jets, soldiers, warships. But there's like they're seeing in Ukraine. This is the thing with Taiwan doesn't have any of what China has. We're talking 3 million or more of Chinese ground troops. I don't think Taiwan has, but maybe 10, 20,000. So it's really, if Taiwan had to defend itself on a first wave, it would be very hard. But it's like we're seeing in Ukraine wars. They're not fought on paper. They're going to be fought on the battlefield. And this is how China feels. And Jinping does have an appetite. And if he chooses to escalate, he faces a long list of problems. Um, Globally, the UN, NATO, and all of them would be very angry for Jinping to strike. And resistance from Taiwan, they're ready for all of these challenges. And knowing him, that he won't be um, um, oh boy, uh, resistance from Taiwan is going to be fierce until we can get our U.S. in there and our troops. But is it going to be like Ukraine, or we're just going to feed them military equipment and hope for the best? That it's just going to be. Oh man, it wouldn't go long unless we put boots on the ground. So do expect that if anything does happen, we could see boots on the ground. Um, but we're looking at China really hasn't been at war either. With India, yes, and a little bit with Australia. But as far as an all-out war like World War II, um, Jinping hasn't had to face this, and neither has Biden, and neither has quite a few of the world leaders. And so now we're seeing that they have been. All of us have been doing exercises. So what are the possibilities? It is if we don't put everybody and all of our might into Taiwan at this point, I don't think Taiwan could really defend itself. It would do its best. Um, the thing is um, we're looking at. Um, I don't believe Jinping wants to destroy uh, Taiwan. The thing is the microchips. So I know he's not into destruction. Maybe just a quick swoop and he'll be done. And hopefully that's all it's going to be. And then it would be up to the United States or Taiwan to respond. So I really don't think he's going to go in and drop major nuclear bombs. Now, what we're hearing though is the UN and even NATO um, is very put out a message. Not even, man, this comes from my reporters over in Ukraine. They sent it over and said, hey, needs some attention. With the now we have the fear in Asia, and the thing is there is a fear right now. With the escalation around Europe and Germany and Ukraine. The focus is on the Zaporizhzhia, it's Zaporizhzhia, the nuclear plant in Ukraine. And it's located southeast Ukraine. And so if you look on the map, it's real close to Mariupol, I believe. Um, and this comes from my reporter over there. So this area is currently under Russian occupation, and the troops seized control of it right about 2 months ago. And so what they're saying is there has been rumors that there's going to be a strike on this nuclear plant. Now, if that happens, this is huge. Ukraine is basically saying it would basically um, what the nuclear plant would do would be way worse than Chernobyl. So they're in now. Ukraine claims Russia's going to blow it up, and Russia's claiming that Ukraine is going to blow it up and blame Russia. So it's coming both ways. And what my reporters are saying is uh, they, they, meaning the Russians, has had control of this area for a very long time, for quite a few months. And if they were going to blow this up, they would have done it a long time ago to gain um, more um, more of the country, but they haven't. So their view on this is it's going to be Ukraine that does it and blames Russia. So I don't know. I know we have people from Russia that have been watching us. Um, some get mad at me and some don't. You should see some of the emails I get from the ones that are mad at me. That says I don't give Russia enough credit. So what they're saying is um, the nuclear plant, um, that if it does blow up, it will be like it is so much worse than Chernobyl. And if it happened, um, it would be, they say, 500 kilometers from this plant. The United Nations nuclear body wants to ensure that the history doesn't repeat itself of Chernobyl. And the nuclear watchdog has written to both Ukraine and Russia saying that either one don't need to do this. So those in charge that's watching the nuclear plant is can't even make up their minds of, is it going to be Ukraine or is it going to be Russia? Now, the other one is um, Israel has contacted both Russia and Ukraine, or Zelensky and Putin, and trying to say that they need to think about this, whether who did it or who's going to do it, that neither one, that there's a better way of taking control of Ukraine, or just go with the ground fights and the tanks, but don't blow up labs, um, any nuclear arsenals, any of, I know that Ukraine has a storage of mustard gas now that I've told you about. And not only that, but now we're looking at the nuclear plants. Now, Russia does have one. And so if Russia was to take this one, more than likely NATO with Ukraine would do theirs, one that's in Russia, and closest to Moscow, the better. So I can't see Russia doing this. So anyway, does anybody have any questions right now? I know this is breaking news, and Taiwan is surrounded, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And hopefully by this evening, 9 p.m. Eastern time, me and William will have a little bit more info on what's going on. If not, I will definitely be back to let you know. I did want this to come out. And like I said, this is breaking news that came out within the last, I'm going to say, hour and a half right now. Why'd she have a blue? Um, why did she have a blue sash? Is the question we got in chat. Um, Nancy Pelosi's like that. Let me tell you a little bit about some of the stuff she wears. Okay, the blue sash was for the support of Ukraine. Now she has like a brooch. It's real long. It's got a little stick on it, and that was given to her for, I believe, the longevity of her being a speaker or being part of Congress. Well, she wears that. If you watch, when she's in controlling power mode, she wears that. When she does one over on the Republicans, she wears blue beads, and it's got two red beads in the middle. What basically means is she's got the Republicans by the cojones. And I think it's rude when she wears that. Watch what she wears, folks, because a lot of it, I've even caught her wearing a I thought it was a Star of David, but then I found out that was a pentagram she wore one day. It was a little tiny, and it had the American flag under it. It was like she tried to mush it together. And it did look like the Star of David, but no, it wasn't. It was a pentagram. Um, um, so, yeah, all we need. Hey, Ed. And Ed is our favorite veteran for the show. Um, all we need is another Chernobyl. Um, so if you get a chance, um, and you see Ed in our chat, please tell him hello and, and thank him for his services. I believe it was Afghanistan, Ed, but he served in the military, so he's one of our veterans, and we salute all of our veterans. And that's why I do military news and help the veterans with things that they could get. Ed, you might be able to have a service cat. If not, you could definitely have a service dog. So think on that. They're doing cats now. So with that, folks, I didn't want to keep you guys for long. In case I have to come back, please share this with everyone. But Taiwan is surrounded, and they do have the straits blocked. China is doing live drills. Let me get that out of my way. And what it is I'm going to kind of rehash what I just did, so those just now coming in can know what's going on. With the live drills, they have surrounded Taiwan at this point, and they're doing what they call live drills, which means they're shooting missiles pretty much barely over the top of the buildings. They're also flying massive aircraft flying over the country itself. The Navy has basically surrounded and has heavy naval ships around the ports. They were worried about the north, basically north, south, east, and west ports, and all of them are heavily surrounded by China. And the other thing, they have mentioned that there might be boots on the ground in Taiwan right now. Um, so, like I told you guys this morning, Pelosi did not need to go right now. She could have picked a way better time to go over there and be friends with Taiwan. She could have done it a long time ago. She could have done it in the future, but not when Jinping is saying, "You come over here, we're going to get you." Now look what has happened. There is a good possibility something could stray, something could hit Taiwan. We are waiting for the response of Joe Biden on what Taiwan has done right now. The best thing is if Nancy Pelosi is still in South Korea, she needs to go home. That's just my opinion on that. I think she needs to go home before things get really rough over there. There is a good possibility within the next few hours to the next few days, we could be looking at um, uh, China with a stronger not reaction, action. Also, we're looking at this point, Taiwan really cannot defend itself from China. So, anybody questions? If not, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go. And as soon as I hear anything, I got my phone real close to me, and it's just going crazy. Not only from my reporters, so I got reporters over in Taiwan on the ground, and I got those over in Ukraine watching um, the nuclear plant at this point. We don't want another Chernobyl, definitely. And they said this would be way worse. So, with that, everyone, we will see everyone tonight. And me and William will maybe discuss this a little bit further. I was fixing to call him and give him all the info for tonight. But we'll see what happens. And I invite you to come on back and share, subscribe, hit the bell. We are on all three platforms again. Investigator News 2 is back. So is the network. So I believe everyone will probably be over on Investigator News 2 if you want into a busy chat. And I'm everybody, I'm going to let everybody know, if you're on Investigator News 2, please add Investigator News Network. So if we go down on 2, we are still going. Also over on Facebook, if you're interested in um, watching us on YouTube, it's Investigator News 2, Investigator News Network. Pick the one you would like. Um, so, uh, with that, please share this news. There's a lot of people that still do not know that China has surrounded Taiwan. And let's see what. Um, um, well, she's not a very nice person, Ed. That I do have to say. Nancy Pelosi, she's got some issues for sure. All right, folks. So we will see you tonight. And I thank you for watching, and keep an ear out for us for the bell. Hit the bell and hit follow over on Facebook so that you get it comes up on your computer, phone, or whatever device you use, that I'm back. And I'm keeping in touch, and right in touch with my reporters over in Taiwan. So with that, you guys take care, and we'll see you tonight.